Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Aurora online classes. Let's proceed with the same lesson. This is the same part, not same part, I would say. Actually, this is the second part of the same story, the 100 Dresses Part 2. Dear students, let's move ahead. While the class was circling the room, the monitor from the principal's office brought Miss Mason a note. Miss Mason read it several times and studied it thoughtfully for a while. Then she clapped hands. Attention, class. Everyone back to their seat. When the shuffling of feet had stopped and the room was still and quiet, Miss Mason said, I have a letter from Wanda's father that I want to read to you. Underline it. Miss Mason stood there a moment and the silence in the room grew tense and expectant. The teacher adjusted her glasses slowly and deliberately. Her manner indicated that what was coming. This letter from Wanda's father was a matter of great importance. Everybody listened closely as Miss Mason read the brief note. Dear teacher, my Wanda will not come to your school anymore. Jake also. Now we move away to big city. No more holler, Polak. No more ask why funny name. Plenty of funny names in the big city. Yours truly, Jan Petronsky. A deep silence made the reading of this letter. Miss Mason took off her glasses, blew on them, and wiped them on her soft white handkerchief. Then she put them on again and looked at the class. When she spoke, her voice was very low. The class was circling the room, the monitor. That was the day when all the students of room number 13 were looking at the exhibition. They were looking at the drawings displayed in the room. So they were moving here and there. They were circling around, moving around. And Miss Mason received a letter from the principal's office. And this letter was to Miss Mason from Wanda's father. Wanda's father. And when Miss Mason announced that she has received a letter from Wanda's father and she wants to read this letter to the class. When the students of room number 13 came to know, they became silent and they became curious. They wanted to know as to what exactly has happened with Wanda. They wanted to know about the letter from Wanda's father. And Wanda's father. So here was a letter from Wanda's father to Miss Mason. What was the letter? Everybody wanted to know. Everybody was curious to know. There was a complete silence in the class. The students had stopped a scuffling of the feet and they listened to the letter. Actually, in that letter, Wanda's father disclosed that he had withdrawn Wanda, his daughter Wanda, and his son Jake from the school. He wrote that actually both his son and daughter, means both Wanda, daughter, and son were discriminated by the students of this school on the basis of their color and name. Wanda's father had mentioned in that letter constant teasing and making fun of Wanda for having a funny name had deeply hurt Wanda, has deeply agonized Wanda, has deeply troubled Wanda. Means the students of this school made fun of her. The students of this school teased her, and just because of this constant teasing and making a fun of her has given unbearable pain to Wanda, and this led him to move to a big city. This led him to withdraw his children from this school. Now everybody became silent. Silence prevailed in the school. Deep silence prevailed in the class. And now what happened? This way, then Miss Mason was also unhappy. She also became unhappy and upset. She did not feel nice, and she spoke to the class. She spoke to the class that she is up. Why was she upset? Why was Miss Mason disturbed? In fact, Miss Mason disturbed at the ill treatment given to Wanda by the students of room number 13, by the students of her school. So she was upset and unhappy that Wanda had left this school. She was unhappy and upset. She was depressed to know that just because of the ill treatment, just because of the misbehavior, just because of making fun of Wanda, just because of teasing, Wanda's father had withdrawn his daughter and son Jake from this school. And she said that she has a hope that none of the students of this class had done purposely, done willingly. And she said that I am sure that none of the boys and girls in room 13 would purposely and deliberately hurt anyone's feeling because his or her name happened to be long, unfamiliar one. She spoke to them that she is sure that none of the students of this class have made a fun of Wanda purposely, willingly, just because of anyone's unfamiliar or funny name. But she was shocked. She was unhappy. She was unhappy. I prefer to think that what was said in thoughtlessness. Moreover, she said that what was said in thoughtlessness. Means if any student has done or if any student has misbehaved like this, this was done without thinking too much, without thinking properly. And she said, I know that all of you feel the way I do. That is very unfortunate thing to have happened, unfortunate and sad. Both, and I want you all to think about you. She says that Wanda had left this school. Wanda's father had withdrawn Wanda and Jake from this school. Now his children are no more in the school. This was sad and unfortunate. Wanda had to suffer a lot. Wanda had to suffer such a discrimination just because of her funny name. This is very unfortunate. This is very sad. Wanda had to face such a situation of ill treatment. This is what she spoke, and she felt sorry for Wanda. The first period was a study period. Maddie tried to prepare her lessons, but she could not put her mind on her work. She had a very sick feeling in the bottom of her stomach. True, she had not enjoyed listening to Peggy ask Wanda how many classes she had in her closet, but she had said nothing. She had stood by silently and was just as bad as what Peggy had done. Worse, she was a coward. At least Peggy hadn't considered they were being mean, but she, Maddie, had thought they were doing wrong. She could put herself in Wanda's shoes. Maddie was also depressed and sad. Maddie, after listening to the note from Wanda's father, which her class teacher Miss Mason told the class, she got very upset and depressed on listening to the note from on listening to the note on listening to the letter from Wanda's father. She felt guilty of herself. She felt guilty of herself. She felt guilty of herself and of her behavior, that she should not have done like this. Actually, as you all know, that Maddie was the best friend, the closest friend of Peggy. But when Peggy made fun of Wanda, Wanda said nothing. She stood by silently. She did not oppose Wanda. She did not she did not oppose Peggy. She did not oppose Peggy for making fun of Wanda. She did not stop Peggy from teasing Wanda. She did not stop Peggy from making fun of Wanda. Because of this, she felt really very much depressed. She cursed herself. She started cursing herself. She started coaxing herself. She started reproaching herself. She started blaming herself. She blamed herself for being responsible for what has happened with Wanda, because she remained silent. She did not stop Peggy. So she cursed herself for being silent and not stopping Peggy from making fun of Wanda, for not preventing Peggy from teasing Wanda. So she was sad. She felt depressed. Now, goodness. So now she realized Wanda's pain. Goodness, wasn't there anything she could do? If only she could tell Wanda she hadn't meant to hurt her feelings. She wanted to tell Wanda that she did not want to hurt her feelings. So what did she do? She turned around and stole a glance at Peggy, but Peggy did not look up. She seemed to be studying hard. Well, whether Peggy felt badly or not, Maddie had to do something. She had to find Wanda Petronsky. Maybe she had not yet moved away. Maybe Peggy would climb the heights with her, and they would tell Wanda she had won the contest, that they thought she was smart, and the 100 dresses were beautiful. She was feeling guilty. Her conscience was pricking her, and she did not want to hurt Wanda. That is why she decided to meet Wanda. She decided to meet Wanda, and she decided to tell Wanda after meeting her that she is the winner of the contest, and all her drawings, all her sketches are so beautiful. This is what she decided to do. And not only that, she also decided that if anyone misbehaves, anybody, she would not remain a mute spectator. She would oppose it, and she would not let any injustice happen to anyone. She would protest against anyone, or she would protest anyone who tries to teach anyone, who tries to make fun of anyone. So at first she planned to visit Wanda's house with the hope that Wanda had not moved away from there. When school was dismissed in the afternoon, Peggy said with pretended casualness, "Hey, let's go and see if that kid has left town or not." Actually, Maddie's mind was obsessed with Wanda. She was thinking too much of Wanda. She was thinking that she had not done a right thing by keeping herself silent. Actually, if you remain silent, if you remain silent where you need to stand up, this is also a kind of wrong deed. This is also a kind of injustice. This is also a kind of support. And she was really feeling guilty of herself. Her heart was reproaching her, and she was overwhelmed with the sense of guilt in her. So she wanted Peggy to accompany her to go to Vanda's house to find out her whether, because she had a hope that Vanda wouldn't have moved yet from there. And then she told Peggy, and Peggy just with a sign of pretended casualness, she showed some indifference, and she said, "Hey, let's go and see whether that kid," this is what Peggy said, "whether Wanda has left it or not." So both of them both of them planned to visit Wanda's house. So Peggy had had the same idea. Maddie glowed. Peg was really alright. The two girls hurried out of the building up the street towards Boggins Height. Now they decided to visit Boggins Height to find out Wanda. The part of the town that wore such a forbidding air, forbidding means unfriendly, rough air on this kind of a November afternoon. They visited in the month of November. It was drizzly, damp and dismal. The area, they were on the way to Boggins Height. It was on a hill, and this area did not have the nice look. It was damp and dismal. It had a very depressing look. It had a very ugly look. It was drizzling, and that was the month of November. So they left for Boggins Height to find out Wanda, to see whether Wanda was there or not, because they had a hope that Wanda hadn't moved yet, hadn't left Boggins Height yet. That is why they were on the way to Boggins Height. "Well, at least," said Peggy gruffly, "I never did call her a foreigner or make fun of her name. I never thought she had the sense to know we were making fun of her anyway. I thought she was too dumb, and gee, look how she can draw." Actually, Wanda had left the school. Her father had withdrawn her from the school. This had a great impact on Maddie. Maddie was feeling sorry for Wanda. And actually, on the way to Boggins Height, both of them were talking about Wanda. And here, Peggy had some excuses. She tried to defend herself by making some excuses. At first, she said that she never called Wanda a foreigner, and she never made a fun of Wanda on the basis of her name, on the basis of her a strange name. So she said two things, that she never called, means Peggy never called Wanda a foreigner, number one. Number two, she never made a fun of Wanda by calling him a foreigner, and she never made fun of Wanda on her funny name, means she never made a fun of her funny name. This is what Peggy said. Maddie could say nothing. All she hoped was that they would find Wanda. She wanted to tell her that they were sorry that they had picked on her. As I said, that Maddie was overwhelmed with a sense of guilt. She had a guilty feeling, and she wanted to tell Wanda that she was sorry for her misbehavior, and how wonderful the whole school thought she was, and please do not to move away, and every day would be nice. She and Peggy would fight anybody who was not nice. This is what Maddie was thinking. This is what Maddie was imagining, that both Peggy and Maddie would go there. They would apologize to to Wanda for their misbehavior. Number one, they would say that her drawings were very nice, They would say that she had won the contest, and they would also, Maddie was thinking that she would request Wanda not to leave this place, and she would request Wanda to stay here. She would request Wanda that nobody would tease her from then onwards. Nobody would make a fun of Wanda from then onwards. This is what Maddie was thinking. The two girls hurried on. They hoped to get to the tip of the hill. To the tip of the hill before dark. They wanted to go there. They wanted to visit there before it got darkness. I think that's where the Petronskis live, said Maddie, pointing to a little white house. Both of them reached there, and just they were a little far. Just they were means both Peggy and Maddie were little away from Wanda's house. They had reached Boggin's site, and then Maddie pointed out. She pointed towards, means Maddie pointed towards a little white house, and this is what Maddie said. Hey, I think Petronskis lived there. Means Petronsky family lived there. On the way, whips of old grass stuck up here and there along the pathway like thin kittens. The house and its sparse little yard looked shabby but clean. Actually, along the pathway there were the small bunches of grasses. There were the small bunches, whips of old grass. The whips of old grass were here and there along with the pathway. So it was sure that the pathway was not cleaned properly, because nobody lived there. Petronsky family had already left there. So there were the whips of old grass, and they were looking like just kittens, tiny kittens. And the house and its sparse little yard looked shabby. The house looked shabby. It was looking ugly. It was looking shabby. It was looking ugly, worn out, but it was clean. The house was clean. The little white house was clean. This was the little white house where Petronsky lived, where Wanda lived. And then when she saw the house, when she saw the little white house of Wanda, when Maddie saw the little white house of Wanda, it reminded, the sight of the little white house reminded Maddie of her blue faded dress. And Wanda always wore blue faded dress. So her faded blue cotton dress, because her cotton dress was shabby, it was worn out, it was discolored but clean. There was not a sign of life about the house. Peggy knocked firmly on the door, but there was no answer. She and Maddie went around to the backyard and knocked there. Still there was no answer. Both of them reached there, and then Peggy knocked firmly on the door, but she got no answer. Then she went around to the backyard, and from the back door they knocked at, even though they got no answer. There was no doubt about it, the Petronskis were gone. How could they ever make amends? They were sorry for their misbehavior, and they had come to the conclusion that Petronskis had left the house, left the place. They turned slowly and made their way back down the hill. They started turning slowly. They started turning slowly from there. They were sad because they were disappointed also. They were disappointed because they had not met Wanda there, as Wanda had left the place. Her family had left the place much earlier. Well, anyway, said Peggy, she's gone now, so what can we do? She said, what can we do? We are helpless now. Besides, when I was asking her about all her dresses, she probably was getting good ideas for her drawings. She might not even have won the contest otherwise. Maddie turned this idea carefully over in her head, for if there were anything in it, she would not have to feel so badly. But that night she could not get to sleep. She thought about Wanda and her faded blue dress and the little house she had lived in, and she thought of the glowing picture those 100 dresses made, all lined up in the classroom. At last, Maddie sat up in bed and pressed her forehead tight in her hands and really thought that was the hardest thinking, underline it, she had ever done. After a long time, she reached an important conclusion. She was never going to stand by and say nothing again. If she ever heard anyone picking on someone because they were funny looking or because they had a strange names, she would speak up. Even if it meant losing Peggy's friendship, she had no way of making things right with Wanda. But from now on, she would never make anybody else that unhappy again. Have a look. So they were coming back from there. They were depressed and disappointed because they did not find Wanda there. The Petronsky family had left the place earlier. And now on the way back home, Peggy made some excuses like that. She told Maddie that she never made fun of her, number one, and her questioning about her dress gave lots of new ideas to Wanda to make designs for 100 dresses. If she had not asked, this is what Peggy is saying. If Peggy means to say, if she had not asked Wanda about her dresses several times, Wanda would not have got good ideas for making nice designs for nice dresses. So her questioning about dresses, about Wanda's dresses, gave Wanda lots of ideas, lots of new ideas to win the contest. It means she wanted to say that her questioning, Peggy wanted to say that her questioning about her dresses helped Wanda in making nice designs, excellent designs for excellent dresses. Otherwise she could not have done it. Actually, now Maddie came back. She was really very sad and disappointed. She was on bed and she thought very hard, she thought very deeply. Wanda was still in her mind and she recalled Wanda's face. She recalled Wanda's 100 designs for 100 dresses, and then she took a decision. Then she thought so deeply and then she took a firm decision. Maddie took a very firm decision that she won't allow any kind of injustice happen to anyone. And she would protest if she finds anyone teasing or if she finds anyone making fun of anybody. She would not remain silent. She would oppose it and she would protest it. She would not remain a mute spectator. This is what she decided. She decided that she won't let any injustice happen to anyone. She would be there to protest it, and she won't allow anybody trying to make fun of anyone, even at the cost of losing her friendship. Even if she had to lose her friendship with Peggy, she is ready to. She won't hesitate to lose her friendship with Peggy. She is ready to do it. She won't hesitate. But she won't let any injustice happen to anyone. She would not remain silent. She would protest. She would protest anyone who tries to make fun of anyone or who tries to tease anyone. This is what she decided, and this is what she took. This is the decision that Maddie took. So dear students, this is all for today. I hope whatever I have taught you, it is clear to you, and I would like to give you a piece of advice that you should read out the book every day go through the lessons every day in order to get the better understanding, in order to get the better concept of the lesson. Then everything will be very easy for you. Thank you very much. That's all for today. Till then, be happy, stay blessed, take care of yourself, work hard, keep learning, keep practicing. Thank